Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us here on KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti. It is good to see you. Coming in new at noon, Idaho's governor signed an executive order today to ramp up federal forest management in the state. Governor Brad Little made the announcement in Coeur d'Alene less than 2 hours ago. We brought it to you live on KREM 2 Plus. The order directs the Idaho Department of Lands to expand its partnership with the U.S. Forest Service to try and increase management and reduce fire risk in federally managed forests. Also coming in new at noon, Washington Governor Bob Ferguson has taken action on dozens of new bills today. In fact, 2 of those bills are focused on victims of gender or sexual violence. The first expanding access to training for law enforcement, and the second one is aimed at protecting college students who are victims of sexual assault. The governor will sign another round of bills coming up this afternoon. And to learn more about the bills, we have a full breakdown on our website. Visit us there on KREM.com. And right now we are watching for a verdict in the Arizona trial of Lori Vallow Daybell. The jury is currently in their second day of deliberations. Vallow Daybell is charged with conspiring to kill her former husband, Charles. Vallow Daybell represented herself during the trial, and her closing argument, she said she shot Charles in self-defense.
Why does the state want to blame someone for this tragic event? What evidence did the state show you in this trial that I wanted harm to come to my husband?
As many times as she wants to say Charles was my husband, she didn't want him as her husband. She wanted Chad Daybell. She wanted that life insurance policy, and yes, she was angry about it.
And again, this is Lori Daybell Vallow's Arizona trial wrapping up. As you may remember, she was already convicted in Idaho for killing her 2 children. And just as soon as the verdict is in, we will bring it to you live on KREM 2 Plus. And if you don't yet have KREM 2 Plus, it's easy. You can download it for free and watch it on your TV. Also happening today, ballots are due for a special election in Spokane County, Fire District 8. The district covers southern Spokane County, which includes Moran Prairie and Valley Ford. The EMS levy would fund the replacement of medical equipment and allow them to hire more staff. Now, if you haven't turned in your ballot just yet, you do have some time. You have until 8 o'clock tonight, so just under 8 hours from now. You can put it in a ballot box or you can mail it in. A voter service center is also open at the election office in downtown Spokane. All right, it is 12:03, lots of news happening today. We're going to put a pause on that and turn our attention to the weather. Of course, it is springtime in the inland Northwest, so you blink and it changes. Right now, sunny. We have Thomas Patrick out there in his cool sunglasses. Thomas, the question everybody wants to know as they plan their day, what can we expect this afternoon? What's happening?
Yeah, this is an absolutely beautiful afternoon, and for once I actually didn't forget to bring my sunglasses, in which you absolutely do need them. And yes, I actually need mine. They are prescription sunglasses out here. Yeah, absolutely beautiful weather at the moment. There's your current temperatures, low 50s. In the sunshine, feels great. You could even sit in the patio furniture outdoors in the sunshine and feel comfortable. Might be a little bit cool in the shade of the buildings and awnings out there, but it is wonderful weather out here, especially after a bit of a colder morning. And that's the weather pattern we find ourselves in. Absolutely clear out there, a little bit of some cumulus clouds and maybe some mountain showers that are starting to bubble up over the far mountains of North Idaho and western Montana out towards Missoula, but that is not going to be disturbing the inland Northwest whatsoever. Instead, just mostly sunny for the rest of the day. And we probably climb about another 10 degrees before the day is through. Low 60s and sunny skies, again, is absolutely beautiful. But here's the thing. It's going to be warm during the day, but it's still going to be frigid at night. We had lows in the 20s this morning, and we will once again replicate that, especially in our cool spots in areas like Deer Park and Newport and northern Washington. So it still stays cold, maybe a little bit frosty, but only at night. During the days, it gets warmer and warmer this week. So I'll show you how many days you will still need the sunglasses for this week, and when we'll get into the 70s overall. Your weather impact forecast is in about 10 minutes.
We have a live look at the Vatican this afternoon, where the faithful are gathering as they mourn the loss of the head of the Catholic Church. And today, the Vatican announcing that the funeral for Pope Francis will take place coming up on Saturday in St. Peter's Square. Thousands of people are expected to attend, and that does include President Trump. CBS News has more now on the plans being made in Rome.
Catholic cardinals are gathering at the Vatican to finalize plans to honor Pope Francis and eventually choose his successor. Senior clergy and Vatican officials paid their respects to Francis Tuesday during an intimate service at the Santa Marta Hotel, where he laid in a coffin, adorned in a red robe and papal mitre. The first images of the late pontiff came on the same day Vatican officials announced his funeral will be held Saturday in St. Peter's Square.
There is a sense of a void that is somehow going to have to be filled. But coupled with that immediately is also the intrigue of what comes next.
The 88-year-old who died Easter Monday after a stroke that caused heart failure left behind specific instructions for a simple burial at Rome's Basilica of St. Mary Major, with a one-word inscription on his tomb, Franciscus, his name in Latin. There will be chanting in Latin as Pope Francis's body is moved in a solemn procession on Wednesday from Santa Marta to St. Peter's Basilica, where he will lie in state until the funeral and burial.
Pope Francis almost had like a radar for people who were left behind.
CBS Evening News co-anchor Maurice Dubois spoke with Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who was part of the conclave that selected Pope Francis 12 years ago.
They're going to see some mourning, they're going to see some gratitude, they're going to see some hope, and then they're going to see people say, we need to get to work.
The Cardinals will be choosing a date after Saturday's funeral to begin their conclave to elect the church's next leader. Tony Aiello, CBS News, Rome.
And in just a few minutes from now, Gonzaga will host a Mass of Resurrection for Pope Francis. That Mass begins at 12:10. That is at the University Chapel, and again, starting in just a few moments. A Spokane artist is remembering how a small piece of the Lilac City is in the Vatican. Vincent de Felice, a Gonzaga Prep alum, created a statue of Peter Faber that is in the middle of his high school. Pope Francis had a miniature version of the statue in his personal collection. Now that the Pope has passed, the statue will live in the Vatican Museum. The artist says it's an honor to have his work displayed alongside great artists like Michelangelo and Da Vinci.
The best masters in the world. And again, I am not near them, but to have the work there is for me it's just an amazing story, really.
For me, for Gonzaga Prep, for Spokane, to know that one of our own created something that was special to Pope Francis, that's pretty cool. I mean, that doesn't happen.
That's right, they hand carried that statue to the Pope and delivered it to him. As the world says goodbye to Pope Francis, we will be tracking, of course, the latest developments from the funeral to the search for a new Pope. So stay up to date on every moment. We have that on KREM 2 Plus. Again, KREM 2 Plus, just download our streaming app on your TV and you can watch for free.